In this video, we're going to look at an example involving a parabola and a hyperbola. And it's a bit deceptive if you saw this equation to see that this is a hyperbola. And so let me just rearrange this just to begin the whole question to show you how this is actually hyperbola. I'm going to divide this whole bracket of x minus p across. So it will be y plus t equals 3 over x minus p. And then if I took the t across, I would have that. And so let's just leave that to marinate on the side throughout the question, but we'll come back to it. So look out for that. Then if we dive into the question, show that the coordinates of B, which is just the turning point. And so turning point, I'm going to, if I was in matric, I might do derivative equals naught. For the purposes of this grade 11 video, I'm going to say if I want the x turning point, it's minus b over 2a, which gives me positive 2. And so the coordinates of b would be positive 2. And then how do I get a missing value in any graph question? I just sub that in. And so I sub 2 in there, and it leaves me with my answer of 1. And so now you've got your turning point. And by the way, your turning point is also the point where your asymptotes meet. And so this asymptotes equation would just be x equals 2. This asymptotes equation would be y equals 1. You don't need to always be thinking ahead like I'm doing. I just personally find it's helpful while I'm in the middle of an exam to be thinking, because I know this, what does it mean? So that when I get to it later, this might make my life easier. These asymptotes might make my life easier, and it didn't take too much effort. So we've got that. What's the range of the parabola? The highest it goes to is 1, and it's happening below that, and it can equal 1. There's not an asymptote for the parabola. So that's just your answer. Which values will the hyperbola be bigger than 0? And so where is it above this x-axis? It's here, and it's this entire graph here. So how do I describe this as an x answer? I would say x is less than or equal to minus 1. And how do I describe this direction, which goes on forever? If the x asymptote is 2, then x is just bigger than 2. It cannot equal 2 because there's an asymptote. Determine the equation of the vertical asymptote of the graph h if it's h is g of x plus 4. I like to think whenever there's a bracket what answer comes out of there, and it's minus 4. And so I literally just take the vertical, the x equals 2 asymptote, and a minus 4 from there, and I end up at minus 2. And lastly, determine the values of p and t. So if I need them, the x asymptote is at 2, and so what should have been inside the bracket would be a minus 2. So the equation should look like this. If the y asymptote is at 1, it should just be 1. And so because I've got that, I can just compare the p just is 2, whereas the t, if this is meant to end up as 1, t would have to be minus 1. And there you've solved a really cool parabola, hyperbola mix question. If you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends.